We knew it was going to be a difficult and challenging week for us, but we were looking forward to the opportunity to play one on the road and then, of course, get back to home. It felt like a long time since we had played at home, but we knew Southern Miss would be a very hard-playing, disciplined team. Looks to score on the interior, in the mid-range, with a lot of athleticism and length. Going to Southern Miss, thought we battled early and kind of got our feet under us, and then got a number of stops in the second half, turned into good transition basketball where we were able to capitalize, get some scores at the rim and even the three-point line, extend a lead, and then be able to get the victory on the road. Quick turnaround coming back on the Saturday. Got back late Thursday night. Guys went to class early Friday morning, had a practice, played a 2 o'clock game, and thought that defensively that we were still pretty similar to what we had done on Thursday. We got a number of stops in the second half. Didn't score the ball very well. Give a lot of credit to Southern Miss. But I just felt like we weren't in a great rhythm. We were in foul trouble. Had some injuries that took guys out for several minutes. But just didn't score at a very good clip. Turned it over, missed free throws. Fortunate to come away with a win on Saturday, but grateful that we're able to do so. And at times, to have a type of season that you want, you've got to be able to find a way to win, and that's what we did on Saturday.
Questions? Go ahead, Corey.
Eric, I wanted to ask you about officiating. I'm just kidding. Just expound on it, because I know you and I talked about Kobe after the game on Saturday afternoon, but just expound a little bit more on just the last couple of years, what you've seen out of Kobe from just a toughness standpoint, from a standpoint of him stepping up in moments where he feels like his team needs him, and just his progression to become one of those floor leaders for this team, and where you like where he is.
It's really one of the great joys of a coach to watch a guy grow. I mean, he's a guy that a year ago was in the rotation, contributing, learning a lot. Early in the season, his freshman year, was playing very little. But as we say all the time, is to stay ready, improve, your numbers called, be ready, and contribute. And that's what he's really done. At the end of last year, in the last 6 games of the year, he's averaging about 24 minutes a game and helped us play very well in February. And that's because of all the maturation that he went through as a freshman, and it helped springboard him into this year. We rely on him very much. In the time that he was away dealing with an injury, our trainer doing a fantastic job, TJ Thurman, you could see that we just weren't the same team. What he does defensively, the way he pushes the tempo, and just his overall toughness. He's a guy that rarely ever misses anything in practice. He's a guy that we can count on, and he's just getting better and better. So we're really excited about what he's done and what he can still become.
Questions? Go ahead, Bogue.
Coach, when Paul Millsap was here as a freshman, it became obvious early on that he has some intangibles, some aspects you can't really coach up. You've got Lofton coming in playing great. Does he have some of those same kind of intangibles, different skill set, granted? And do you see him getting better on a game-by-game basis?
Well, he's improved incredibly since he first arrived. And he's a young freshman. First thing you see is, he's got great feel and skill. He's got these big hands. He can catch everything in a big radius around him. He's got really good feet. But he's getting better. He's getting better from a conditioning standpoint. He's learning the college game and the speed that's required and the intensity every single day. But he's got so much room to grow, I believe, from shooting and extending his range to just other things that he'll just continue to pick up. But he's got a feel for basketball that allows him to make a lot of different plays, anticipate actions on both offense and defense. So I wasn't around, obviously, when Paul was here as a young freshman, but know that Paul was a tremendous rebounder nationally. I think Junior's got a chance to keep improving in that regard, but he's a guy that impacts the game very much for us.
Yeah, McKay?
Yeah, Coach, obviously the last 10 minutes of this game, or the second game, you guys really had to kind of flip a switch, and defense really stepped things up. So kind of just talk to me about how proud you are of them pushing through. You guys kind of were down, and then they fought their way through, and even with some tough calls, you guys pulled it off. So kind of just talk to me about how proud you were to watch your team fight all the way to the end.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we talked earlier in the season about how when the shots aren't falling, you can't let the defense be affected. The defense is what's got to be able to keep us in the game. And then if you can let that turn into great offense and score a bunch of points, well, then you can extend a lead and come away with a big win with a substantial scoring margin. But when the shots aren't falling, we got to stay steadfast, keep locked in. And that's exactly what we needed. We're down with 10 minutes to go. We had to scratch and claw and do whatever we could to get back into the game. Got some baskets. And even in the last 2 minutes of the game, we're not scoring. And up until Amari Archibald's 2 free throws with about 3 seconds to go, we couldn't score. But thankfully, we were able to find ways to stop Southern Miss just enough to come away with a win. And that's, again, I think it's a sign of a team with some grit to be able to, even when things aren't going well, find a way to get it done. And that's what our guys were able to do.
Ben?
Coach, I know that LeDoux's only been back for 2 games, but after you've got a chance to kind of evaluate things, how do you like his fit with the team coming off the bench after having started, the first 10 or 12 games of the year?
Well, he adds another weapon for us. Is a really good shooter, of course, missing 4 games and coming back into the swing of things and getting your feet under you. That's going to take a little bit of time, but he immediately adds a weapon for us from the perimeter. He's also a very good defender, a guy that we can count on to guard some of the other team's better perimeter players using his size and strength. So, we expect him to, get back into that rhythm and do some things from scoring, rebounding, and all different types of things to help our team.
Eric, talk a little bit about this North Texas team that you'll face this weekend in Denton.
Really, really good team. Very balanced as far as scoring, from Hamlet, reigning Conference USA Player of the Year at the point, does a great job of getting into the paint. They've got Simmons on the inside, and then they've got perimeter guys like Bell and Reese and McBride, who those guys are really shooting the ball well from 3. Take the offense aside, they're a very stingy defensive team. They're very physical on the ball. They rebound it. They are a team that's tough to score on, and you can see it in some of their scores. They held a Conference USA team to 33 points in a game. They went on the road and lost a tough game at Loyola Chicago, but defended them very well in their home court. They're a senior-laden team. They got a lot of experience, and they're 7-0 at home. So this is a great challenge for us. Of course, with that, a great opportunity in a divisional play in February, and we've got to have a great week of practice and preparation. North Texas is a very good team.
Questions for Eric? Go ahead, Corey.
Eric, from a coach's perspective, when you guys are preparing for teams that are ranked higher than you guys in the net rankings, from your coach's standpoint, I mean, how much harder do you try to coach your guys up to get them prepared for games like this?
Yeah, it's absolutely no different than any other game for us. I look at rankings and things like that if you, whether you beat a team ahead of you or you lose a team below you, it's all the same. I mean, they all count as one. We're chasing the best version of us. The opponent is different. The way they defend is different. They have some things that they do schematically that's unlike other teams. So those are the types of things that we work hard on. But our preparation, the way that we organize each week, is pretty similar. The amount of intensity and attention to detail, no matter who we play, is really at the same level. I guess the difference is the time of year. Once you get into February, we're 36, 37 days away from Conference USA tournament. So you just feel kind of that sense of where we're at in the season, just how important every opportunity is, just even the day to practice and get better. But then, of course, the game's coming up ahead. But we're obviously aware that this is a big game as far as divisional standings and implications and things like that. But we really operate in that fashion all year long. Every game's a big game to us.
Go ahead, Ben.
How difficult is it to defend a guy like Hamlet? I was watching him the other day against Rice, and he's not the most overly athletic type of guy, but like you said, he really knows where he wants to get with the ball on the floor.
He's a real challenge, BC. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's got really good size, about 6'3", 6'4", strongly built, but he's got a burst to him, and he can, they play him in pick and roll constantly, and he's really good at getting to the paint. And he's fast with his right hand. He's left-handed, but he goes left and can finish. He's got a lot of different pivots where he can use his size to get angles to either score or pass to other people. And then the way that they're organized with having Simmons on the inside and then spreading the floor with shooters, it gives him an opportunity to really have some space to wiggle and get into that paint. But his size and his ability to just find himself there in the decisions he makes is what makes it so tough. You can take something away, but then he's got a way of kind of countering. So we've got to have a great game plan, and then we got to execute it very well to try to limit his opportunities to not only score but help his other teammates score.